Just leaving the gym. Now I'm going for a little walk. I estimate I'm gonna walk for about 30 minutes right now because that's how much time I have, and the 30 minutes is probably gonna get me about, I want to say 3,000 steps. I have 2,000 and something already from the gym, so I might be around 5K out of my 10K goal. I'm drinking a healthy smoothie, strawberry, banana, chia seeds. Yo, I'm on my health kick right now. I know nobody's gonna really know what this time of year is for me, but this time of year is like go time because once I get to mid to late August, I look at the calendar and I'm like, I got about 6 weeks until my birthday. And I made a choice. I want to say about 4 years ago, I said to myself, it would be really cool if I could find a race to do on my birthday or around my birthday, because running races is one of my favorite things to do. And in order for me to be my best self on the race course, I have to be my best self off of it. Physically, mentally, emotionally, but the physically part. Well, the physical and the mental and the emotional all tie in together. So typically, the sacrifice that it takes to eat the right foods, to make it to the gym on time, to sleep when I need to sleep, to get the right amount of sleep and nutrition and all that stuff, kind of all ties in to make me feel like a total person or whatever, totally well person. So I'm a chronic procrastinator. That's why I say that late August is about the time that it really sets in for me, because when I say I only have about 6 weeks, I used to do this 2 to 3 weeks before my birthday, and then I would just go crazy in the gym and do these crazy crash diets where I'm just eating 500 to 600 calories a day. But I said to myself at a certain point, I need at least 6 weeks. 6 weeks is the bare minimum for me to get myself where I feel like I need to be. I have a Spartan race in 2 weeks, and then I have a competition in about 5 weeks, end of September, and then another one beginning of October, which is going to be my birthday week. So, anyways, that aside, hi Kaden. That aside, I'm looking at this Big Brother season, right? And I feel like each Big Brother season is a chapter. We're on chapter 27. I'm still a new Big Brother fan, as a lot of you know. If I think to the seasons that I watched live and the seasons that I covered, each chapter has something that defines it, right? Season 23. I didn't cover season 23, but that's where I started watching. That was the cookout season. Hi, Cass. That was the cookout season, right? And then, so that season to me, that a lot of people say is boring and all that stuff, to me that was defined by selflessness, sacrifice for a greater cause, and almost flawless execution of a game plan. Game plans are boring to people, right? Like, for instance, I remember back in the day, this is a basketball reference that some people will get and some won't, but the San Antonio Spurs. Everybody remember the teams like the Lakers, when they had Shaq and Kobe, and they remember teams like, who was another team that was, they remember the Celtics when they had KG and Pierce and and Ray Allen. They remember some of the flashier teams and some of the teams with uh, the dunkers and the flashy gameplay or whatever. But a team like the Spurs was characterized by someone like Tim Duncan and Greg Popovich, the coach. And that team was just pass the ball around. Nobody was really all that flashy, you know, but they just executed. And I remember watching them and hating them and being like, this is so boring. But then they won 5 championships. Am I ticklish? Let me see. That tickled me enough to block you. As I was saying, execution. So I think that Big Brother fans like when a game is messy all over the place, switches a bunch week to week, and whatever floats your boat, to be honest with you, because I can't tell you the way that you're supposed to like Big Brother. But I personally like when somebody, so I guess I was spoiled, right? I was spoiled because I started watching season 16. Hey, Cass. Yeah, you looked away for 2 seconds. I got spoiled because the season that I first watched ever for Big Brother, even though it wasn't live, I watched season 16 first. So I'm looking at it and I'm not understanding the game. I'm like, okay, Cody is running things. That's how I was feeling, because it was the first time I had ever watched it. Nobody explained it to me, so I was just looking with fresh eyes. Okay, what is this? And like I said, it looked like Cody was winning because I'm a challenge fan. So I was looking at it like that. I'm like, Cody is dominating the comps and he's taking people out one by one, this and this. And then I remember getting towards the end of the game and they showed this montage of all this different stuff Derek was doing. It showed him in all these conversations with Cody and different people telling them what targets they need to take. And he was basically silently dominating behind the scenes while other people were executing his missions for him, which was effectively keeping him from getting all the blood on his hands. And I was like, wow, this is amazing. So when I watched that, then somebody told me, oh, you should go back and watch season 10. I went back and I watched season 10, Dan Giesling, and then I forgot it, but I think there was like 3 or 4 seasons that I watched where the winner of the season was so impressive to me because of how strategic they were and kind of surgical with their gameplay. When I say surgical, I don't mean they were all like Derek, but I mean like to some degree, they had something that they were executing. They started off with some kind of a mission. And to some degree, like when you got to the end, you looked at their body of work and said, this is impressive. I don't think gameplay needs to be messy for entertainment. There can be drama with solid gameplay happening. And the thing is, I don't understand the people that were saying that there was no messiness in the cookout season. Like, I think that they feel like because the cookout was able to execute, that's the thing that made it boring for a lot of people, that the execution was so good. But I remember being on pins and needles every week because there was a lot of internal fighting amongst those 6. Big D was having problems with Azah and Tiffany. And then like Xavier was having problems with Tiffany, and Xavier was having problems with Kylan, and then they were arguing about which order. Like they had the plan, but then it's like, which order is this person going to go up? And then to what degree are we going to share with the person, with the pawn that we have that's our +1 basically? To what degree are we going to share with the pawn with that season? Looks like Rachel is getting backdoored. You know what? I'll say the same thing Cass said to me on a live the other day. Nothing looks sure with this season until Thursday. I was thinking what day to say, but we don't even know. We can't even say that Rachel's getting backdoored because we don't know. We haven't even got to the veto comp yet. So who knows? I remember Baby D trashing Sarah Beth. I remember Sarah Beth only really liking Kyland from the cookout. I don't really recall her liking any of the other cookout members. She didn't like Xavier. If I remember correctly, as a matter of fact, I almost want to say that Sarah Beth took some parting shots at Xavier while she was on the block. Because I seem to remember her being like, this man is running the game, he's dominating, and if you want this to be your next Big Brother winner, please keep playing scared. Like, I'd have to go back, but I feel like that's what happened with Sarah Beth before she got out. She took some shots at Xavier. But long story short, this season, Vince lies. That's the thing. Vince being the HOH especially. There's no way with Vince of all people that I can say anything that he said to anyone is set in stone. Because like I said, I watched him talk to Mickey, right? And the choice to put Mickey up was not like, I did not know there was a target over here. Anyways, the choice to put Mickey up wasn't a Rachel says put Mickey up decision. The choice to put Mickey up was because of the judges telling him to put Mickey up and telling him that they would vote her out. But then when he talked to Mickey, he made it as if he was manipulated into putting her up and that he never should have done it and he's so sorry and blah, blah, blah. And I don't believe that. I mean, obviously, it's not even true what he was saying to her, but I don't believe that he regrets putting her up. He's the one who's always going to talk to the person and try to damage control and apologize and try to massage their ego and make them feel better, because that's his default. His default is like, he'll never stand on business. Like a Rachel, when she was approached by those ladies and asked why she put them up, she was like, I put them up because I was told this and this and this, and you were going to put me on the block. You said that you were going to put me on the block if you became HOH, so I got you first. I love that. Why do people in today's era of Big Brother act like you can't do that? Like it's shady or mean or bullying or whatever to just stand on business and be like, I put you up because we are against each other right now for this reason. And see, because you're the HOH, yeah, they could be all butthurt and be like, I'm going to come after you next. But it's still a chess game. That's the best time to negotiate. I put you up because this and this and this reason. You said this and that. That's what Rachel did. I don't even think that Rachel is playing the most stellar game that any Big Brother player has ever played. It's just that she's really playing Big Brother, and I don't know what the rest of them are playing. It's like I know how to play chess, right? If I go against an advanced chess player, they'll beat me in whatever minimum amount of moves it's going to take, because I just know how to move the pieces. I'm not like 15 steps ahead when I'm playing chess. I just know the knight can go here, the pawn can go here, the queen can do this, the king can do that. You know, that's the only thing I know in chess. I'm not like some advanced chess player. But you put me in a chess game against somebody who's played checkers their whole life, I'm gonna dance around them. And I'm not saying that she's not an advanced Big Brother player, because obviously she won before. But what I'm trying to say is, we haven't even had to see the best Rachel to get her to where she is now. And she knows that, and it's been so cool to watch her adjust to that in real time. I think she only liked Kylan. Yeah, because I remember her being really close to Kylan and literally just not liking all the other Cookout members. She was his +1, yeah. Kylan and Big D lip locking, yep. And then we have, man, and this is a season of delusion. Like, Keanu, I was looking up some quotes of some conversations that he had last night, and it was cracking me up. He swears that his impact in the game is so huge. He likes making these grandiose promises when he's talking to people. Oh, dude, a 1,000%, dude. If you put this person up, there's no way that they come back. We got to take that shot right now. Da, 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 da. He'll say one thing and he'll state it so strongly and with his chest and so passionately. Then, if he starts to have some conversations and realize it's going another way, then he's all the way in that other direction, and he's not like, I was wrong about what I said initially. I have never heard him say that. I had never heard him say that. I used to think that way about Jag. I thought Jag's reads and Jag's ego before he won. Like, before he got voted out of the house, and then like he was just starting to catch up to what was happening in the house towards the end of the game. And I was just like, this guy's reads are incredibly bad. I don't understand how he's so far out of the loop. And I look at Keanu and he's even worse. Because at least Jag was sitting there like, I'm trying to figure this out. I'm trying to put these pieces together. That was more of where his mind frame was coming from. Keanu was like, I know everything that's going on in this house. I'm the mastermind. I'm using Rachel. I am using Rachel, picking her brain and using her strategies and outsmarting her. He thinks that him and Rachel are in this Mr. and Mrs. Smith type of relationship where they're matching each other wit for wit. And they are not. Rachel's wits are way up here and his wits are way down there. Good morning, Jacqueline. Hi, Tasha. Bro, I knew all along. That's his MO. That's his MO. I knew that was going to happen. I knew these people were going to go up. No, you didn't, because you were saying the opposite. You were saying the opposite of what actually happened. And then when the opposite of what you thought was going to happen happened, you knew all along. Keanu cracks me up. Keanu would try to get rid of Matt and Bowie. I know, right? And end up losing the game to Mama Fee. I know, right? And then there's Kelly with the whole throw myself on the block every week. I want to be on the block. Oh, I have an idea. Put me on the block again. She probably watched Taylor's season and she's just envisioning her speech at the end. I am the blockbuster. You thought that I was a shield, but I was a sword. And it's like, no, Kelly, that's not how it works. She was nominated to be on the block a bunch of times. She didn't volunteer. If Kelly wins with that strategy, I will eat my shoe. How about that? Save the video. I will eat my damn shoe with a knife and fork if Kelly wins the game. That's how confident I am that one of these days she's going to put herself on the block and they're finally going to get her out. Because you know what's happening? Regardless of the fact that she has one of the worst social games of all time, which is nothing. She's basically doing nothing socially and making no impact on the social level. She's still going to have, I don't know how many, 5, 6 comps under her belt, 7. And they're going to be like, low key, she's got a resume. We got to get her out of here. Like, it won't happen before jury probably, but she's going to be one of those at 5. And then the thing that's interesting about that, right? If you're at like 5 or 6 people and Rachel is still there, and Rachel is there and Kelly is there, and Kelly has like 5 comp wins, and Rachel has 1 or 2, I don't know, 1. Let's say she has the 1 HOH, and Kelly's there with 6 wins, and Rachel is there with 1. I'm pretty sure that's something that Rachel would use. She would be like, you guys can get me out next week, because honestly, if any of y'all sit next to Kelly, Kelly has this radical strategy of throwing herself on the block, and she has the most comp wins of anybody. So I would suggest that you go after her this week and get her out now while you still can. Plus, how many shots are you going to get at her? Because that's the way like a good Big Brother player thinks. Having somebody like that is beautiful for them. And then who else do we got? We got Lauren. I don't know if y'all saw my video that I posted from my cameo with Mimi. I feel like Mimi has said this before about somebody else last year, that she said that people don't appreciate this. Oh, I know. I remember now. Mimi was defending Angela's strategy last year. She was like, the crying and the you know, apologizing and all that stuff, and then using things against people and whatever. She was like, people don't like that strategy, but it's a strategy. She said that people don't like the kind of bimbo approach. I'm rephrasing, but basically people don't like the bimbo approach to the game, but it's still a strategy to some degree. But Lauren is not winning Big Brother either. Man. And then like Morgan, who came in too hot. Like Morgan was in a really, really good spot in the first few weeks of the game. Then she got the power, and once she got the power, it went up here. And she's been floundering ever since. We have Mickey, who is just racing thoughts every minute. Racing thoughts. She doesn't know how to calm down. Hi, Ma. She doesn't know how to... Her mind is just... She makes me tired. She does the mental Olympics in her head every day. And I can't even keep up with her. She thinks so much. I don't know how she hasn't just taken a whole day and just been like, I'm going to just lay in bed by myself. She needs a 24-hour isolation punishment. I think that would do her good, or bad, because then she would be by herself, because she always needs people to dump on when she has all these thoughts, as that funny, hilarious Will edit showed us last week. But yeah, if I had to define this Big Brother season so far, it would just be chess, not checkers. Because that's still how I feel. it's still going to be very hard for somebody like Rachel to actually win, to actually be the final winner or whatever. But the fact that she's even in there this long and still hasn't touched the block says a lot about the people who are in this game. And I think people also underestimate what I call the Sari effect. Because an older player, I mean, she's not as old as Sari, but she's older than a lot of them. Like an older player who's been on TV before, who's kind of showing them the ropes. If you catch the in between the gameplay parts, there's parts where they'll be asking her questions that are not about the game. So what is it like? How's it like being married? And then, you're a reality TV celebrity. What is it like when you come out of the house to the fame? What does this part of the game feel like? Or sometimes she'll even provide that kind of advice. She'll just go up to somebody and say, hey, I know you're feeling anxious right now. I remember my first season. I felt like this and this. Like I keep saying, this is game and personal mixed together. Like Sari was a champion at that on the Traders and to an extent on Big Brother. But in that season, the younger players were like, they got to a point where they're like, everything that goes wrong in the world is Sari. They get up and then they make breakfast and then it gives them gas. They're like, Sari gave me that gas. Or if it's like they made a cup of coffee in the morning and then the coffee spills on the floor, it's Sari. Everything is Sari. I hope this group doesn't start doing that, but they could. It's always a possibility. But my point is, the longer you leave somebody that dangerous in the game, is the more time that they have to sink their teeth into the game and to get in your head and to start influencing the way that you think. And then it becomes harder even on an emotional level because you start to connect with them. These people that are extra good at these games have this way of making you feel like you're so connected to them. These hugs and I love yous from somebody who they've watched on TV hits a little different from the I love you from the unemployed or the personal trainer or the bartender, because you're looking at that person like you and me are the same. We're the same, but this person, we're playing this game with this celebrity. You must be paying very close attention to Morgan. Because I don't see her calming. I haven't seen her calming down, but what I have seen is that her reads have gotten better in the past week. That's what I have seen, because she was just going off the deep end with her reads. She would think something, and then she would just build her whole argument around that racing thought and not fact check. Now I'm listening to her and she's still going a mile a minute, but the things that she's saying are making more sense. The mist. Yeah, the mist for sure. They all got it. Oh, Boston Rob. Remember Boston Rob on the Traders? I didn't see him on Survivor, but on the Traders, he definitely had everything going with, he had everyone going with the mist. And he got out my guy Wes, and he got out, who was the other person that he got out? Derek. Yeah, he got out Wes and Derek before he got out. And what killed me about that is I feel like he didn't even care about winning. I feel like he didn't care about winning. He just came over there. He was happy to get a chance to travel and be on another show. He knew that he was going to get probably a decent payday. It was going to feed his fan base, But anyways, that's about all I got for right now. Let me see how many steps I had. I predicted about 5,000. I might put it up to about, how long have I've been live for 30 minutes and I've been walking for all that time. Yeah, probably about 5,500 or so steps. Let's see how close I am. Ooh, I was gonna say 6,000. Y'all can't see that, but 6,113 steps. So it is 9:23 a.m. for me, and I have about a little under 4,000 more to go for the day. I'm gonna be well over 10,000 because today is about to be an active day for me anyways. Got laundry to do. I got some cleaning to do. I got a bunch of things to do that's going to require me to be on my feet. And if you missed the beginning of the video, you can always rewind it and watch it back. But I was talking about getting back into being healthy, not just being slimmer or stronger, but being healthy. You know, that's what I'm aiming for. And that's it. That's all I got. So I'm going to post that Mimi video right now. So if you want to check it out in its entirety, it's about 6 minutes. She answered a few of my questions, or she answered all my questions. And she said a few things. I'm going to be posting it in clips too. That's for the algorithm. But I'm going to post the whole 5 minutes and 58 seconds of that. Like, comment, and subscribe. Because the math ain't mathin', y'all. Talk to you later.